What up, everyone? Thank you so much for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co host, Andrew Don't Get It Twisted Lapache. And this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you so much once more for swinging by and stopping by on this lovely, a bit on the cooler side, Wednesday evening. For those of you who recall, I do live in Las Vegas and it gets hot up in here, but it's starting to cool off. Um, I was expecting it to be cooler. If you guys remember, last week I did say that I was going to be flying out of the state for a hot minute. I went out of town for the weekend. I flew out to Boston, Mass, specifically Salem. I stayed in Revere nearby, and I went expecting it to be cold as hell, and it was hot. It was friggin' hot. It sucked. I took a hoodie, I took a sweater, I took gloves, thinking it was going to be hot. And I'm like, damn it, I thought I left the hot weather back home in Vegas. No, dude, it was friggin' hot. So if you guys go to Boston now, it'll be cool. But I seem to have taken the heat with me to Boston for the weekend. But that is the reason why we weren't able to record on Sunday. Because I was still over there out in Boston doing my thing, exploring the. I actually took I talked about it in a few here, but I took a bit of a road trip while I was over there. I even drove to Connecticut. I drove to Rhode Island. I was like, fuck it, let's just see all these other ones. Why not? While I was up there. But holy hell, was it hot? Definitely a lot hotter. I mean, I wore jeans and stuff with things, right? But again, that was the reason why I wasn't able to record on Sunday, and this is why we are now recording on this lovely Wednesday, magnificent Wednesday. So we got some stuff to talk about. Not too much, unfortunately, just because nothing really happened this weekend as far as major fights go. Although this weekend we do have Boots Ennis in action, so we'll definitely be bringing that up, of course, because he's going to be in action this Saturday. But not much news. Some news, some decent news. Official signing, Pitbull and Lamont Roach. This weird post that I saw of what looked to be, maybe it was AI, maybe it was legit. I don't know. Jake Paul getting arrested. That shit was weird as fuck. But apparently that happened while I was gone. Amongst other things, some box office flops by one. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson with the Smashing Machine. That everybody that I know, well, a couple of people that I know went to go watch it, but apparently it was a flop. We're going to be talking about that here just because there's a little bit of a boxing connection in there, amongst other things, of course, including Tim Bradley flip-flopping, going first initially saying that Brian Norman was going to end up coming away with the victory against Haney, and now he's flip-flopped. Now he's saying Haney's going to win. I definitely want to hear his or read his reasoning as to why he's flip-flopping there. But we'll be talking about those things in addition to a couple of the topics. But before we get into all of that stuff, Andrew, what's happening, dude? How's your Wednesday evening going?
Hey, what's up, Miguel? We're doing good. It's not hot today. We're sitting in the high 80s now, I would say, but definitely cooling down here in Tracy. Summer seems to have passed, and yeah, doing good.
Did the Raiders win this weekend?
No, the Raiders didn't win this weekend. Thank you for bringing that up. My dog died too, Miguel.
Oh, dang it!
Yeah, just kidding. No, they
got ran over, bro. Shit.
No, they didn't win. It looked like it was probably the worst performance they put in this year. So now there's a lot of rumors that the team don't want the coach. The coach don't want to release the quarterback. It's getting high drama in Las Vegas. I got to tell you, I think Tom Brady's probably starting to wonder why he ever want to get a part of this, right? The coach definitely seems on the sideline like he has that look of why did I get involved with this?
There's just certain, not to do it. They told me not to do
There's certain teams that will give you that look. You will look off into space as the game is being played. They might be over here, Miguel, and the coach is looking over there.
Like, that 1,000-yard gaze, just like,
yeah.
Oh no.
That's the Raiders. I heard one guy say maybe we're cursed. That's terrible. Starting to bring some fans down, Miguel. It's starting to break us. We've been strong for so long. Maybe the curse is real.
It's like you build the Allegiant Stadium on Indian burial ground or some shit, something
Yes.
causing the curse.
And to the fans that think it's a positive that tickets have dropped $500 for the next Raider game, you are sad as fuck. You know what I mean? You deserve everything that you get out there for thinking that a $500 ticket to see this kind of football play is a positive or something that you should brag about. No, that's all about. When you say you're going to a Raider game now, it's just about bragging about going to Vegas. That's all it is.
I see.
There's nothing magical happening there. There's no run happening there, Miguel. You know what I mean? You're just bragging. You just threw some money at the fucking air. Hey, my friends used to tell me all the time, just drive down the street, roll your money down, roll your window down, and throw the money right out the window. And he used to tell me that about gambling. That's what he used to say. That's what I say to Raider fans that tell me they're going to the games in Las Vegas. The fuck out of here. Like, are we? Maybe Genty and Max Crosby might be the only two guys that you're watching, but are we really spending thousands of dollars to watch these two young men run around with the football? Come on. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke, Miguel.
I did see this this recent meme online where Allegiant Stadium has this Spirit Halloween banner posted on there because that's how quickly the season is going to end from these guys. Like, all right, we're not going to do this anymore for the next season. Just put up Spirit Halloween.
Could almost guarantee you Max Crosby will be traded on the next coach hiring. He's too valuable, right? They're going to have to trade him to get some more draft picks, build a team. They need a team. They don't need a player. Right? There's other teams that need a player. You put Max Crosby on their roster, now they're Super Bowl. You put Max Crosby on the Raiders roster, they need fucking 53 other men.
They need the rest of the team.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Raiders. So I think Max Crosby's days are numbered. I know he loves us. I know and he's really the last connection to Oakland. I think all the Oakland connections are gone when Max is gone, dude.
Oh, shit. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty sad.
Hey, maybe that's what's needed. Maybe that's what's needed. I don't know.
Shut up, Miguel.
I'm just saying. I live in the city. I'm just saying. Maybe we need to, you got to get rid of all the bad juju, bro. You can't bring all that shit over here. You got to get, I was just in Salem, I'm like, let me get fucking cleansed in this bitch before I make it back. I want to bring that shit back.
You got to look at the top for that one.
Oh, do I?
Mark Davis. He got
I see. Gotcha.
He's got to go.
Interesting. You know what's crazy? I was in Boston this weekend, right? I didn't know they had a bar over there that was like specifically a Philadelphia Eagles bar. Like people fans. Like I didn't know they had that shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how is this even allowed here? They're in, this wrong city, wrong state here. I didn't even know they had bars like that. But apparently there is.
We had one in. It wasn't in Oakland. It was like on the border of Oakland, San Leandro. But it was called Ricky's Bar, and that was the Raiders hangout. He even had Raider players would go there after the games. This is back in the day, Miguel. I don't know if they would still do that if it was today, but back in the day, no, Raider players would show up, coaches. He even had like reserved seats on the tables. So if the coach did come, you got to get up. You already knew it, right? Shit like that.
But that was Oakland, right? That was the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders.
This was in Boston. I didn't know. That's why weird. I was like, what the heck? It's a Philadelphia Eagles.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Bar. And that was like the thing. And there was hella people because I was walking around and I saw the green jerseys, but I was like, hold on. Their basketball team is green, not their football team. Like, what the fuck? New England, or the Patriots or whatever. I was like, what the fuck is this? But I didn't know they had a bar there specifically for that. There was hella people, and I was like, I wonder if Philadelphia is playing, New England this weekend or something. They weren't. They're playing somebody else. But anyway, I just thought it was strange because I had never seen that really. Like, I was like, wow, this is strictly a Philadelphia Eagles bar with a bunch of people wearing the jerseys and shit. And I was like, this is in Boston. This is kind of strange.
Yeah, you would think the Patriots would have done a good job of securing all that area. they had a pretty good run. I don't know.
Yeah, they had a good thing going there for a hot minute. I don't know what happened here. But yeah, that was as strange that I saw there, and I saw a lot of cool things. As I mentioned earlier, that's kind of was my weekend, right? I went to Boston for a hot minute. It was pretty badass. I went to Salem, did the whole witch hunt thing. It was nice and spooky. That was kind of cool. But again, I made sure to cleanse everything off before I came back because I'm like, I don't want to bring an issue with me. The show was fucking crazy. And then I did drive to New Haven, Connecticut. For those of you who don't know, there's a spot there called Louis Lunch, which is actually credited as being the first place to have served a hamburger in the United States. It had like regular toast. It was just like basically a burger with a burger patty, basically with onion and cheese, and then like 2 slices of toast. Nothing special. It was packed. We had to wait like 30 minutes for the damn food, but I'm like, fuck it. I'm over here. I'm going to do it anyway. It was good. I'm not going to say it was good. It wasn't good. It was good. What?
Did you take a photo?
I did.
Yeah, yes. Good job, man. It's a landmark.
Yes, precisely.
America. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they had one of those like signs outside, right? It's like, this is, a historic place and yada yada, and it's like basically in like City Hall records as like, okay, this is a monument or something. I forget what it is. The official.
Say whites only.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I would be in there. No, I'd be like, sir. They're gonna look at me and be like, pick up a mop. What are you talking about?
No, you're lucky. That sign's old.
Yeah, the sign is very old. Quite old.
I'm just kidding. I don't even know.
Yeah, we don't know our history. Oh, they gave us a little bit of history over there. It was cool. Don't get me wrong. It was very dope. But then drove back through Connecticut. Rhode Island, and then drove back. Saw a couple of states. That was pretty tight. So if you guys ever have the opportunity, don't drive in Boston. Don't fucking drive in Boston. It's like driving in New York. Holy hell, people are terrible drivers over there. I saw a trolley, one of those like tour ones, straight up like try to squeeze between some other car and a fucking Jeep and like swipe the shit out of it, and like the bumper was coming off. We were walking and we heard, we're like, what the hell? We thought it hit one of the garbage cans, those ones like garbage day or something. No, it was some poor sucker's Jeep that got the damn bumper torn off. Everybody's like, oh, he's getting fired. I'm just getting fired. So but anyway, it was tight, and I do recommend those trolleys. Go downtown, park somewhere. Parking, you got to pay for everywhere, unfortunately. But park and then take those on and off trolleys. Those are cool. So if you ever give that a go, by all means, give that a try because that was fun. It'll take you to 3 or 4. No, it's like 6 or 7 different stops. You can get off and on as you come, wherever as you go, and then like they'll come around every 15 minutes, a different bus. And then it'll pick you up if you want to, or you want to pass that one and skip it depending on how long you want to stay. So that's pretty tight in case you ever decide to go there. You ever been to the East Coast?
No,
at all.
That's what no is.
Never. No, and you're not even past life. No. What's the farthest east that you've gone? Vegas? Is it Vegas? It's like
Vegas. Yeah, I would say Vegas probably. Yes, sir.
Damn. Well, I highly recommend it for everybody listening. It was quite the weekend, very fun, and thankfully I didn't bring back any bad vibes, bad jujus, because we did visit a couple of cemeteries, and it was quite spooky. I'll tell you that right now. Alrighty. Well, there was some news that did occur this weekend. Nothing major, of course, as I was talking about. And unfortunately, we're going to have to get this show kicked off on a very somber note, on a very tragic note. I'm not sure if I read the news yesterday or today, but as of yesterday or today, it was reported that one Arturo Gatti Jr. has passed away. And in very strange, kind of eerie fashion, it has been said that he was found hung just like his dad. Man, that's definitely not something you want to hear. The young man was 17 years old. I don't know, and he was a boxer as well. I'm not sure if he, I think he was just amateur up until this point, right? I'm not sure if he had already become a pro, but just a quick reading on this article here. And terrible, shocking, and sad news. It had been reported that Arturo Gatti Jr. was found dead earlier this week from hanging. The son of legendary all-action fan favorite Arturo Gatti, who lost his own life at the age of 37. In a similar way, Chuck Zito, Gatti's senior former bodyguard, broke the news on social media, with Zito informing the world that Gatti Jr. was found dead in Mexico. So that's kind of a weird one. I don't know if he was down there for some sort of tournament or something, because again, I don't think he's a pro. I thought he was an amateur up until was an amateur, I should say. But Yeah, really, really sad news. I mean, it's eerie that this happened to him in a different country, the way it happened to his dad, and then in similar fashion. I guess there's still not a lot of information out there as far as if it looked like there was any sort of foul play involved or anything like that. I have yet to read anything like that, but it is still very, very new news, either yesterday or this morning. I don't remember which one specifically, but definitely super sad and very tragic news. Gone too soon. Rest in peace, Arturo Gatti Jr. Did you ever get a chance to see any of his amateur fights, Andrew?
No, no. It's just really sad. He was only 17, so his dad had. Look, man. I mean, there was not a lot of people. You can say suicide, right? Right off the top, you're going to say suicide because I believe that's what Brazil said about Arturo, even though there was a lot of people that did not believe that. This young man dying in Mexico, you're going to probably still have your doubts before that thing's closed out either to see what happened over there, right? They both, it kind of sucks. But I mean, yes, from the outside looking in, you can go, oh, his dad was found hung. He was found hung. Case closed. Let's all go home. But a lot of people don't think Arturo hung himself. The evidence didn't show that it was capable. He was capable of doing that. And there was money involved. There could have been a relationship between his wife and the police chief. Am I correct in saying that?
Oh no, I don't know. Is that?
Oh, you never seen that story?
No.
Yeah, I believe there's a relationship possibly between the two. Right, like just a lot of suspect, and there was like $10 million, bro. It's a lot of money.
Yeah,
this is not pennies that they were taking from him in this will or whatever that Arturo had. So, outside looking in, you'll say suicide. Let's all go home. He's only 17. He should have had money, right? He should have had something of his father's. It's very sad. It's just a sad case either way. If it was foul play or if it was through depression.
Do you think that could be like maybe he did have some of his pop's money and like somebody did him in for that? Like gaining
I mean, come on, man. He's only 17. He's young where he's vulnerable, but he's old enough to be hitting them streets, right?
Yeah.
He's in those clubs, right?
Sure.
We all know you don't have to be 21 over there, right? So. And he's Arturo freaking Gotti's kid. I'm sure in the boxing world, some of those circles know that last name. Just saying. Yeah, I know. It sucks, man. And because of the way his father, what's believed to what his father did, you would just wash it up as, oh yeah, his son whacked himself too, and that might not be the case at all.
No, but it's gonna. I mean, no knock on the. Mexican police, but those fools are corrupt as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Those guys will take any fucking money, and if it means they can just sweep something under the rug, it will go there. And it's a damn shame that that's occurred over there, because I get the impression that the same thing is going to happen that it happened in Brazil. These guys are just going to, get some cash or somehow, sweep this under the rug, because stuff over there. I mean, they have their moments. They have their strengths and weaknesses. I'm talking about law enforcement over there, but I mean, there's times where I go to a bank and there's guys with fucking rifles, soldiers just standing outside the bank. I'm like, okay, well, this is a pretty secure place, but again, this is a different story. But still, it's just like when I see stuff like that, and then I see stuff like this kind of get swept under the rug, I'm like, what the fuck? It's weird. It's the same, yeah, it's law enforcement, right? It's the state, the government, the military. But man, I get the impression that this is going to be one of those things. They're literally just gonna be like, yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Boom, 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 write it up, call it a day, no paperwork, kind of shit.
You have to see where the young man, what city he died in, if it was affiliated or not. If he was affiliated, there'd be a lot of investigating that'd have to go in. Does anyone have the time and money to do it? No. Does Mexico really give a shit about cartel work? No, they don't. If you pay attention to the news, didn't the president just deem or wants to pass a bill about 2 years in prison if you say something against the government on social media?
Right.
But literally turn down help from America to end the cartels? Come on. Let's stop it.
Some shady shit, man. So that's exactly what it looks like. But it sucks that You know,
He passed.
in the middle of all this shady shit, we have ourselves a, you know, had a 17-year-old. You know, sometimes like my pops, my dad doesn't like getting old. You know, he's old. He's in his early 70s, and he'll always think about like the Rolling Stones, and he'll see their faces like, God damn, look at how wrinkled their faces are. Like we're gonna get like that one day, you know, as long as we make it. And I'm like, Dad, yes, like it's a privilege to make it that age, Dad. Fucking how many people can do that? And when I read stuff like this, I'm like, you and I are already, you know, older than Getty Jr. It's like, fuck, man. It's when you see that, I'm like, all right, let me live to be 200, please. I want to fucking get there as long as I can make it on this fucking planet. Because when I see stuff like this, I'm like, damn, 17. I can only imagine like what the fuck was that? The dumb shit that I was doing when I was 17. But yeah, anyway. Rest in peace, Arturo Gatti Jr. I'm sure we're going to be hearing something in the coming weeks, more information in regards to the occurrence here and what other, you know, data or what other evidence they're going to pull from this here. But regardless, very, very somber news and not a good way to you know, kick off the show, but we definitely want to report it because it is boxing related, of course. But definitely very, very terrible news. Rest in peace, Mr. Arturo Gatti Jr.
Yeah.
All right. So earlier today, there was a press conference to announce the official signing of Lamont Roach Jr. versus Pitbull Cruz, or Isaac Cruz, fighting at 140 pounds. They're going to be fighting in, if I can pull up my quick little screenshot here, they'll be fighting in San Antonio, Texas. Now, I don't mean to brag, but I've been in San Antonio myself. As a matter of fact, I drove down this highway and they had a big ass billboard of Bam Rodriguez on there. That was pretty tight. But it's going to be at this. It's going to be on Prime Video, or I guess not Prime Video, but PBC pay-per-view, or PBC Amazon Prime pay-per-view. Pretty much is what it is. Seems a little much. I know that PBC just is essentially strictly a pay-per-view model at this point. I think I could count on one hand how many times they've had a free show on Amazon Prime Video regular. This should have been that, or Al Heyman, if you're listening, it should have been the co-main event with the Manny Pacquiao comeback. But ultimately, it didn't happen that way. We're looking at December 6th. So it's been officially official. I was watching parts of the press conference. You can go on YouTube and find it there. It's about half an hour, a little under half an hour. Lamont Roach going as far as saying, hey, I'm going to take this dude out. You know, he was always on the table when people asked him about, you know, this fight that turned out that way, which we actually have another story after this that kind of sort of ties into this one. But it looks like the way Roach made it seem that the fight with Pitbull was always on the table. Yes, he will be moving up to 140 pounds for this one, because he did say some time ago that, you know, nobody at 135 wants to fucking get in the ring, yada, yada. So he's like, fuck this. I'm just going to go up to 140 and see what I can do up there. And it looks like he's a man of his word, moving up to 140 to take on Pitbull Cruz. Yeah, truthfully, I don't think Pitbull Cruz himself is a 140 pounder, but when he moved up or got the opportunity against Rolly Romero, he did it, and that's where he stayed. I think he's, you know, more legitimate lightweight 135 pounders. So this fight kind of looks like two legit 135ers fighting at 140. But it is officially official. If you guys want to check out on YouTube their press conference, there's a lot of good stuff that they talked about, which is kind of cool. But it's official. Andrew, what do you think? And we talked about it briefly of the possibility of this fight going down and possibly getting signed, but it's officially official for December.
I'm waiting for you to announce a co-main event or main event that's going to make me give a damn about this thing, Miguel.
Damn it.
Hey,
Damn it.
I'm telling you, man, they're hurting. They're shooting themselves in the foot here. PBC, I'm talking about. Why are we wasting a great fight matchup like this on a pay-per-view event that's not going to be purchased? Look, this is a good matchup, but they have no fan base. Lamont Roach isn't a household name. The draw, the Tank didn't make all of Tank's fans go, dude, in December, can't wait, gonna buy that fight. On a guy that's coming off of a decision defeat, correct?
No, he beat no.
So
he lost. He lost to Valenzuela. He beat Fierro in the first fight, and they were going to have a rematch, but then Fierro didn't make weight or whatever, and they put that other fool in there. Salcido, I think it was. So he won. Yeah, so 2 victories since then.
Yeah, but I'm going to say his last big fight then, because Ferrero and whoever the step-in guy was, they can miss me with those as being real opponents. So I'm going to say his last big fight, he's lost. Tank, he lost, right? His only win is really Raleigh Romero. Dude, what I'm trying to say is Isaac Cruz is not as big as he was 2 fights ago, 3 fights ago. Damn, and that's even farther if we're going 3 fights ago. But he's not. He is not a pay-per-view main event. I got a hard pass on this. I'll be streaming it. It's just, dude, I didn't like all the news out of the PBC this week. Here, me and you were the other day talking about all these pay-per-view possibilities they had, and we're coming with Manny's now in January by himself. These two are fighting in, when's the date on this one?
December 6th.
December 6th by themselves. So we have to fork out how many, what is that going to be? About $70, $60 per show? 120 in the next 2 months extra on our cable bill to watch 2 fights? You're tripping. Dude, you're tripping. I'm telling you, they're shooting themselves in the foot. They're giving ammo to all the other organizations. The Zone, who's coming up with Turkey Ali Sheik, Ring and Rehad season, and with MVP Promotions and Netflix to pick on them too. They're literally going to do nothing. This won't get 40,000 buys. I guarantee you.
Damn.
Hey, Miguel, seriously, they told us that Benavidez and Tank didn't get over 60,000, bro. And that was 2 of their biggest names, dude. Now you're putting together this by themselves? No way. There's no way.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, like, PBC not really doing themselves any favors with this shit. I saw a post recently, or at least a clip on Instagram of Mike Coppinger talking about, and it was him, it was Max Kellerman, and I think Ryan Garcia was there, and Ryan was talking about the topic at that moment was in regards to Triple G being Hall of Fame worthy or not, kind of thing, right? And there was a little bit of hate on Ryan for Ryan saying, like, no, I don't think for the people that he fought, that he beat, yada yada yada. And at some point in that conversation, Mike Coppinger says, like, why aren't we talking about Al Heyman as a ballot, first ballot Hall of Famer in boxing? Like, what the fuck? What? For what? Like, I mean, granted, he did some stuff, I'm saying, but like, Hall of Fame worthy, really gonna knock him in there? And people were like, and some people were agreeing with him, but by and large, people were like, specifically, I always look up his Twitter account, Rick Laser. Like, what for taking 900, for blowing off 900 million or whatever from the fucking investors, yada yada, and doing what he's doing right now with PBC. Like, that's what we're gonna fucking really put him in the Hall of Fame. So PBC is not doing themselves any favor at all with this fucking pay-per-view. The least
I would almost
was done a free one, huh?
I would almost go out on a limb and say that Al doesn't even want to do it anymore, and he's being forced to put these things together. Right? It's like he wants to. I mean, he's putting them all on their own cards. Like, he doesn't want to spend a lot of money. You guys make whatever you're going to make, and it's either he does. I wonder if it's a thing where Al has to do these fights or he's going to get sued. So he's like, fuck it. We'll do a fight. I'll put it on pay-per-view, and whatever you make, you guys can take home, and whichever you don't make, that's your fault. And they're going for it. They're thinking that, they always seem to think that these pay-per-views are somehow going to just miraculously go through the roof, and we've seen one in the last 4 years, 3 years, one get to what used to be the norm for pay-per-view events.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a damn shame. But I have.
Do you hear me on that though? Do you think that's possible that? Let's give an example for what what's our guy's name that tweets a lot about the PBC?
Rick
Glazer, thank you. What did he say about Danny Garcia's fight?
Oh yeah. Oh shit. Let me pull that up.
Yeah, man.
Because that is that's a good one. Let me see here. Where was I? All right. So it says, wow, laying an egg in Brooklyn. The Danny Garcia versus Danny Gonzalez fight scheduled for October 18th, next weekend. Not this weekend, but the one follows, at Barclays Center is a total flop as they have sold just a handful of tickets. This post will have gone the boxing promotion more PR than they have prior. Oh, shit. That's how bad. I mean, look, Danny Garcia. We thought he had already pretty much fucking retired at this point. So when he announced that he was coming back, I was like, oh, would you be fucking Kaye? I mean, great. Whoop de do. No one really is gonna give a shit. But apparently, it's gonna be Brooklyn, going back to Brooklyn, right, which is where a lot of the PBC events taking place, Barclays Center, yada yada. But it seems as though this is quite the flop.
No money, no promoting.
Right, and we're 10 days away. If I'm not mistaken, 10 days away from this fight. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. It's I know we talk about it all the time about how PBC is on their deathbed and they just keep coming up with these fucking cards. Yeah, they're fewer and fewer, and they're like more more time in between. We do have the October card coming up, right, with Fondora and Thurman. Which, by the way, I will be getting some sort of footage on, or some sort of coverage. But they have that going on right in October. November, I don't remember if we mentioned anybody in November, but then Danny Garcia. I don't even know what this is going to air on. Like, is it going to be on regular Amazon Prime? I mean, it sure as hell isn't even on pay-per-view. That's for damn sure. I'm talking about Danny Garcia fight, but I'll take a look at my Amazon Prime subscription to see if it's on the calendar. But that's bad.
Yeah, I think it would just be put, like, for me, it would be on Comcast, right? When I went to my guide on Comcast, it would just show order pay-per-view fight. You hit on it, and then it would take you to the fight. That's how I usually see it. It doesn't need a platform, I guess, when you're on cable pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
You get what I'm saying? All right. So, yeah, not a good-looking future for PBC. If I was a PBC guys, I'd be trying to make my way, who's the one that's fighting? No, David Benavidez. Trying to make my way over to Riyadh. Try to get over to Turkey, because Fundura is going to flop too. That fight is not going to do. These next 3 fights, if they're all on their own, Miguel, they're not going to do good pay-per-view numbers at all.
Fundura's got oh shit! There's another one that's going to be on. I mean, not a major one, but at least it's some sort of supporting cast. There is going to be a co-main event. Who the fuck was that?
Eric Lubin, right? Isn't it Eric Lubin?
Erickson Lubin, yeah.
He's going to fight
another 154. Dang it! Yeah, but you're right.
Virgil Ortiz ain't on that card, though, is he?
No, Virgil I think is in November.
So he's fighting Lubin then. It's Virgil's fighting Lubin.
Okay. Let me. All right.
So who is the one on Fundura and Thurman?
Yeah, let's see here. Co-main event. Let me find this shit out here. All right. Let's see. AI, go ahead and give me a good answer here. Oh, this is gonna be okay. Oshaki Foster and Stephen Fulton Jr. That's not bad.
Not bad. It's not pay-per-view worthy. No. Doesn't make me want to drop $70 for this thing. But I mean,
especially after Fulton's stinker of a fucking rematch with Figueroa, that totally fucking killed the house. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I don't know what's going on. The only thing I could tell you is that Al's keeping the how we used to like kind of joke around. They're keeping the IRS off of them.
Yeah.
When they make these fights, I have this feeling like Al's keeping these guys at bay by, no, we're gonna get a fight, and they're like, Al, I want my money though. No, but wait. I got another one down the line, and then if you work with me on that, we'll get a big fight down the line. It just, I don't know, man. I still have a funny feeling this thing's all gonna come to an end when these guys cannot get in the ring anymore. Like one Adrian freaking Broner, you know what I mean? Adrian Broner, PBC guy, sold out a few years ago to the PBC. He's been trying. I don't know if you've been following AB.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been trying to get back into boxing, and it just doesn't seem to be working. Like one day he's posting a video of him running. The next day he's smashed at 3 p.m. on the street corner. One day he's in the gym. The next day he's dancing in front of a liquor store. Like he's all over the place right now. Gets kicked off of, I know we brought it onto the show already, but the podcast got kicked off of it. Hammered, drunk, I don't think his comeback. I don't think he's got another comeback in him. I don't see any money. There's no value there. When Al Heyman stops answering that call, then we'll see. If that's going to be the first guy that's going to start turning on what was really going on behind the PBC doors. He's going to have to sell the story, right? If you're smart, Adrian, You're gonna sell that story.
Yeah.
Don't just go on a podcast.
Well, write a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or just sell it. Yeah. You know what? I don't even know if there's someone willing to do it, but yeah, that is a good book for some diehards that want the ins and outs of boxing. The Adrian Broner story of what happened to the PBC.
Adrian Broner on Gondam.
I mean, they used to. I mean, Al Heyman went from being announced next to God to maybe not even in the sport. You know what I mean? It's a pretty good story.
Yeah, and it'll be titled on Goddamn. Like that's what he says, right? He says like, "Man, I'm Goddamn." Okay, on God, on everything. The Adrian Broner story, his trials and tribulations against the PBC. But you know, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that it's almost as if Al is like he has to meet this obligation of like, damn, how many pay-per-views I got? Fuck, how many more months? All right, fuck it. Roach and Lamont or whatever, Roach and Pitbull, pay-per-view or something like that. Like he owes Amazon or Amazon Prime or whatever an X amount, a number of pay-per-views a year, and he's like, fuck, I got no,
that's a good one.
That's usually because that's how it is, right? It's like, oh, you have to have this many, because I know it is how it is in fighter contracts. Sometimes like, all right, I owe you, when you sign with the UFC owes you 4 fights a year or whatever the fuck it is. Like, all right, cool, you have to give me 4 fights a year, stuff like that. So I wonder if there's something along those lines with them. Like, yeah, you owe Amazon pay-per-view or Prime a couple of pay-per-views before the year's end or whatever, and you have to fucking come through with that. Otherwise, it's just gonna get messy.
That's a good one right there. That's a good way to look at that. That he could be meeting his quota. Yeah, because those are some weak ass pay-per-views, bro. Some of those don't deserve to be, especially what the landscape is right now on pay-per-view boxing. On pay-per-view, anything is not good right now. They're just not buying it. Yeah, I agree. I like that side that he's just trying to fucking please Amazon and then he's done. He's out. Amazon's like, thank God. What did you bring us? 200,000 views in the 5 years we did business with you? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
And how much did we pay you? Not again.
Zoo, you brought us Zoo's fucking failure of a career. Yeah. Thanks.
It's like, this is the guy you told us was going to be, the next fucking whatever, right? The next major Australian star or whatever. Like, yeah, this guy. It unfortunately ended up being a flop. But hey, one last. I wonder how 2026 is going to look for PBC. I swear. I know they're going to have the Manny fight, right? And I'm sure he's going to be with PBC. That's how it's going to go down in January, February, whatever. But I wonder if that's like even out like, all right, Amazon. All right, these might not be great, but January, we got Manny, Manny, Rolly Romero, whatever the fuck, right? You saw what those guys did. So it's almost like he's keeping them at bay with these piece of crap pay-per-views. And then, expecting a bigger like payout with the Manny pay-per-view or something.
I wonder if he even has a headquarters anymore, if he's like strictly working from the house now.
Just like strictly from his apartment.
Downgrade, yeah. We're going to downgrade a little, you guys.
You know what's funny? So I went to I was granted credentials for the Triple G Canelo rematch, and I didn't get the ones where you were in the arena, but rather the media room. So I was in the media room, which I was okay with. Whatever, it's no big deal. I was okay with being there because there's where they were going to have the post-fight press conference. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just get a good seat now. So then when they come in, I'm already sitting down here, right? I was sitting next to this guy who was an older man. I forget his name. He gave me his card, but he used to be with the WBC back in the day, yada, yada. And we briefly mentioned the IBO, that green belt.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, gosh, yeah, that guy runs that shit out of his apartment. And I was like, oh, okay.
Damn.
I was like, damn, I didn't know that, again, I don't know the ins and outs or anything like that, but when he says something like that, it's like, oh, goddamn. Starting to get that impression from Mr. Al over here and BBC. He's like running this shit out of his garage or some shit, like it's, the beginnings of Amazon or Google back in the day with those garage pictures of like the banner. He has a banner that says like PBC and it's like in his garage or something. Oh boy. But hey, the fight itself is going to be good. I'm not going to pay for it. Sorry, but I'm not going to pay for it. I am going to watch it. If you all know what that means, you can read between the lines. I'm going to watch it. So I'm down with it. I don't know if maybe a victory like this will put Pitbull Cruz back on the map, and like, oh shit, fuck yeah, this guy's a name or something that we can look for, I guess, at 140 pounds, if he beats Lamont Roach. But even then, it's just the longer and longer it goes from the Tank fight, it just kind of again, we got the fight signed in December, so it's fine. He can't get the rematch with Tank, unfortunately. That's not going to go down. But hey, this is, I guess, not a bad deal, right? I mean, I wanted to kind of tie in another one of these stories because we had talked about this, or you had specifically heard about this on the online forums and the interwebs of Gabe Flores, right, being an opponent for Roach, I believe is what you said, right? So turns out that he's going to be fighting Joe Cardina. I'm talking about Gabe Flores Jr. here. He's going to be fighting him in December. Okay, I don't know how that exactly. Let me see if I can pull up that fucking quote here. Okay, so here we go. Gabe Flores is I found this on Instagram. In talks to fight WBO Global Lightweight Champion Joe Cardina on December 13th, Eddie Hearn said in an interview with The Ring that this event is set to take place on the West Coast, either in Los Angeles or Stockton, California. This event will also feature Los Angeles native Diego Pacheco and Pomona, California's Tito Mercado. Stockton being the hometown of Gabe Flores. But you mentioned a few weeks ago that you had seen online that he was possibly one of the names that could be that was being talked about against Roach. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. So his father tweeted out or did a video saying that they were supposed to fight Roach, but it fell through. And don't worry, we got something bigger. And that's when I thought Garcia possible's comeback fight. I don't know how he thought Mr. Cardona was bigger than a Freddie Roach showdown, but
Lamont Roach.
Here, no. Oh yeah, Lamont. Damn, I always call him Freddie. Damn it, Lamont Roach. Thank you. So that was kind of maybe there's two stories of fights falling through, but I don't know how you go Cardona is bigger than Roach. If Cardona has to come to Flores' hometown to generate a buzz, who's Cardona?
Yeah,
because I'm going to tell you right now, Flores puts about maybe 1,000 people. It seems like maybe 2,000 people. It seems like at his fight. I mean, his fights aren't packed. They're not at arenas in the Bay Area. They're at some little bullshit minor league place in Stockton.
Yeah.
How is he the headliner? Like, there's no way if this fight's coming to Stockton, dude, Diego Pacheco's people need to be looked at because that young man has been fighting way too long to be on the undercard of Gabe Flores in Stockton. No way.
Yeah. And he's from, was he from South Central? I think they said is where he's at. So definitely a lot more south than
way more south. And he's been on bigger promotions than Flores.
Yeah, he's main evented a card already.
Yeah, Flores' time is come and gone, man. I'm sorry, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel right now. You know, the kid. Miguel. They always say don't bring your kids out too fast. You bring them out too fast, they burn out fast. Well, Gabe Flores is a perfect example of when did he start fighting? 17. 16, they already had him on ESPN or some shit like that. Do you remember that with him?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Had him in a lowrider coming out on a co-main event like at 19 years of age. Kid doesn't even have a belt. Didn't he have 10 fights? Why is he sitting in a lowrider as it's hopping on national television? It was dumb, bro. Kid thought he was a champ already. Probably was already going to the gym like he had a title. He didn't have a damn title. And it was all downhill. Burned out too fast. I don't even know why that's in the stories that they might be doing it in Stockton. That's a fail for everyone involved that they have to bring those three talents to Stockton. No way.
Yeah, I don't know why it's one of the possible places is Los Angeles, and I hope that they end up going in that direction. There's at the Staples Center or whatever, what is it called? Crypto.com Arena, I think it's called. Right next to it is a small theater, the Nokia Theater, I believe it's called, unless they changed the name again. But I've been to that small little arena. It's a little theater, and that they can fill that. I mean, they can fill that one out. You know what I'm saying? Like when Pacheco came to Vegas here at the Chelsea at the Cosmopolitan, it wasn't packed, but it was pretty fucking full. You know, and as a matter of fact, Steven Nelson's people showed up. That's for damn sure. But I'm sure they can do that in Los Angeles in one of those like Nokia theaters, one of those kind of places.
Within the Mexican American community, Pacheco should be bigger than Flores right now.
Yeah, a lot bigger. It's almost like the tale of two extremes. Here, it's bringing out your kid too soon with Flores, and with Pacheco, maybe taking too much time.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Because
it'll be a lot further now, huh?
Yes, and what happens there is you're right. He starts getting used to fighting the B guys, right? And when he gets thrown in the fire, he doesn't know how to respond because you've been fucking feeding him lambs this whole time. So that is correct. You can't keep a fighter too long at the lower level.
Yeah, but that just kind of happened to tie it in because we were talking about Lamont and thinking he was going to get potentially a fight with Gabe Flores, but that fell through. I don't know what the hell what might have happened, because I've even read, and on the subject of you mentioning that maybe a second fight fell through, I read that Ryan Garcia had his eyes set on someone else too. Who the fuck? I don't know if you saw that, but I'm gonna see if I can pull it up here. My buddy sent it to me.
I'm only saying that, Miguel, because I don't ever think his father would have brought that tweet out saying we have a bigger fight in store for him. Wait until the announcement comes.
Mm-hmm.
It almost makes you guys look like a joke when you then announce this guy Cardona in Stockton. That's a bigger fight than Roach on pay-per-view or wherever that was going to be. Like it kind of made him look like a joke, right? So to me, I don't think that was planned. It might not have been planned. Maybe there was a bigger fight, whoever it was, a bigger fight on the table that fell through because Flores is asking for too much. Maybe they're, thinking their top-ranked ties are going to get them more O's than they actually what their value is. Could be something like that, where he got bumped on the two fights because of that, I will agree that this is his last moment here. Like, I really thought the Freddie Roach fight, Lamont Roach, I was like, well, this is the last shot for this kid. I mean, you don't beat Roach, that'll be it. So I was excited for him that he was getting that opportunity, but it could be ego that kept him out of these fights.
On the subject of possibly a bigger fight, maybe Ryan falling through, I did read recently here that Ryan says he wants to fight Mario Barrios next. So it's like, okay, well, I mean, I guess, I don't know. It seems maybe he's, and I'm not to say that Barrios is some elite fighter by any stretch, but I think after coming off of the loss to Romero and then having the surgery on his hand, it might be too much of a jump into the deep end with somebody like Barrios. I think, at least, I mean, Barrios, he can throw. It's not like he can't, he can't. He just was a little bit gun shy against Manny. But, if he cracks, Ryan, I think it can go down. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a fight with fucking Flores might have been the more safer bet than going, again, we don't even know. This is all speculation. Maybe that wasn't even on the table. We just think it was.
It was just speculation. Yeah.
We're connecting the dots behind the scenes here. But it looks like Ryan himself said, I want Mario Barrios. All right, I guess so. But anyway, but I just thought that was kind of funny there, that maybe that fight was brought to Ryan's attention. And he's like, Gabe Flores, no, I want Mario. Fuck it. So they're like,
I want a title. I understand why Ryan is trying to speed up the pace. He's about to get left behind here. That loss to Raleigh, look, you talk about throwing him in the deep end. He can't be in a baby pool. Raleigh Romero is not the deep end.
He can't be in the 5 foot baby pool. He can't be in the inflatable pools at this point.
He might need a life jacket if he loses his next fight, Miguel. They're gonna put what are those little things put on their arms? Yeah, the floaties. There you go. Shit, fuck out of here. So the Barrios fight, though, that puts him right in line with with a big Pacquiao showdown, right? Because I think he's going to line himself up. Like, look, I got to still lean on the side that he's going to probably line himself up closer to PBC than he is with Rehad or DAZN. And that's just because the PBC has a lot of opponents for him. With Al Heyman's manager title that he has with a lot of these guys still, I see Ryan moving over to the PBC. Now that's if Oscar and Bernard accept this fight, right? I mean, they're the ones that still write the checks out, don't they?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know if Oscar is going to be so willing to do everything that Ryan wants. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I don't care if it affected the bank account or not. I would tell Ryan just like this. There's going to be another one of you. I'll take a loss on this one.
Yeah.
Hard pass. Hard pass on whoever the fuck you want.
Right. There was one of you before. There's going to be one of you after. You're just another one, homie. Sorry.
Miguel, he ain't even a champ yet. Like, shit. You know what I mean? Like, Ryan's so low, and that loss to Raleigh really hurt his marketability or who he is in boxing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, if I was De La Hoya, I don't know if he's going to be so willing to do everything Al Heyman and Ryan Garcia want.
Damn. But that's very interesting. I saw when I read Cardina's name on here. If you remember that name at all, he's an English fighter, if I'm not mistaken, a matchroom guy. You know, basically one of those kind of guys. I think he was an Olympian. I'm not entirely sure. He was a champ at one point, IBF champ at 130 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. He's had some fights. I've seen him fight before. He's a good guy. He fights pretty solidly, right? But I want to say he was. Oh man, he was mentioned as who was it, opponent for like Shakur or something like that, like a while back. So he was close to being up there with those names. For whatever reason, those fell through. I'm not sure what exactly transpired there, but I could have sworn his name was mentioned with possibly fighting Shakur or something like that. It never turned out. So I recognized the name. I was like, what the fuck, Cardina? Because that's the first time I had heard of him when it was announced that he was potentially going to fight Shakur or somebody else. I forgot who the hell it was. And when I read it, I was like, okay, cool. And then when I saw it now with Gabe Flores, I was like, what the fuck? The name sounded very familiar. When I had to look him up, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the same guy. But yeah. Definitely very strange. But to wrap up this particular topic, yes, officially, Pitbull, Cruz, and Lamont Roach Jr. set for December in San Antonio. I like to travel for fights sometimes, but when that one came up, I'm like, well, I hope here it's in Vegas. When I saw it's in San Antonio, I'm like, fuck that shit. not worth the trip down there.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one was a funny one. I just happened to come across it because it was strange, and we always like to kind of pick on our good buddy here, Timothy Bradley. Apparently, he has flip-flopped when Devin Haney and Norman Jr. Was announced. He thought, and granted, I mean, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking Brian Norman's got this. Devin Haney's got a fuck ton of things going on outside. He probably is not the same sense that Ryan Garcia beat down. And the stuff that's going on, the distractions that are happening outside of the ring. When Brian Norman is no fucking joke. He's gonna come in here and probably get his ass handed to him because he's not fully prepared for Brian. And that's what a lot of us thought. That's what I still think. And apparently Bradley did initially as well think that, but he has since changed his mind. So let's go ahead and read why our good buddy Timmy has decided to change his mind here. He's saying, and I quote, he is going to be fighting a defensive first kind of fight. I'm assuming he's referring to, how he fought Ramirez back in May. He's going to try and burn Brian Norman out mentally with the pre-engagements, with the movement, but he's going to be defensively responsible. He knows Norman is going to be very strong early on. So then he says he's going to get him tired later on, mentally at least. He's going to do a lot of feints. He's going to be moving around so much that he's going to tire the shit out of Brian Norman. I myself have never seen Brian Norman get tired, so maybe he sees something that I don't. But let me see what else he says here. If Devin Haney wins the fight, he's going to be put on the pound-for-pound list. He's joining Shakur Stevenson with the three belts in the weight classes, with the other three belts holders in the weight classes. So apparently, Timothy thinks that if Devin fights this fight the way he did against Jose Ramirez back in May, that overly defensive, kind of only, using his speed, but essentially backpedaling the majority of the time, that he's going to beat Brian Norman, and Brian Norman won't be able to solve that riddle there. Do you agree with that? Do you think that he'll be able to, number one, get that particular game plan going, and number two, that is enough to beat Brian Norman?
I don't know a lot about Brian Norman to know if that strategy will be able to break him mentally. I haven't seen him break mentally, so how am I supposed to gauge it, right? Mm-hmm. He's young, but he seems ready. He's very athletic. Had a knockout of the year candidate in his last fight. Jump rope seems to be elite, his jump rope workout. So I don't see him getting tired physically. He seems like a strong fighter. I don't know. I think maybe Timothy's been overthinking that fight a little, trying to get it some publicity, really, because it's kind of dead in the water here as far as people talking about it. Haney was dropped 5 times in the fight with Garcia.
I don't remember how many times.
They didn't count them all, but didn't he touch the canvas 5 times? Yes. 3 of them they counted, something like that. I'm not past that one yet. I got it in the Ramirez fight. Well, I was defending the young man, saying, hey, he just wanted to get through this one and get over it. Not going to say he put on a clinic. Not going to be like, oh, some beautiful boxing that no one can handle. No, wasn't that at all. Remember, I didn't have a lot of faith in Ramirez going into that fight. I thought he wanted to be on the farm, and he fought like he wanted to be on the farm. You know what I mean? So I'm still going to lean toward. I'm going to lean toward Norman. Still, Timothy didn't change my views on his new little prediction on the fight. And I really don't like and maybe it'll work. Timothy's been in the ring a lot more than me. I got to say, he has a little bit more experience, just a little. Just a touch. Yeah. No, but I haven't seen
him beat Manny Pacquiao somehow.
Oh, he'll let me know. Just trust me.
Yeah.
I think he does that when he beats up people. Don't you know I beat up Manny? I thought his Marquez victory was
more impressive.
Yeah.
No, I think so. I don't even think he beat Manny at all. Either
exactly. That's how I was going to end that one. Yep.
Yeah, and mind you, that hurts me to say, because I was going for fucking Marquez the whole fucking way. When I saw him get rocked in that 12th round, I was like, fuck, he just sealed the deal. Fucking Brady just sealed the goddamn fight with the way he hurt him in that last round. But Marquez definitely beat Pacquiao, as we're damn sure, at least once. But yeah, no, yeah. When I read this, it's just, we love picking on Bradley because sometimes the shit that he says is so out there. And when I see that he's like flip flopping, I'm like, oh, hold up, okay, yeah. I don't think what he's saying is that he's gonna go through again. He's been in the ring, right, with us just a few times more. So
but it was a weird one to flip on. You know what I mean? It's not even like he thought of it. Excuse me. It's not like he's seen something. He's literally just like, I was laying in my bed the other day and I was thinking, what if his movement made the other guy mentally tired? Like, now you're just overthinking, bro. Like, what are you doing?
He's like, I had my cabinet door open and I hit my head. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? And I'm in my kitchen. I was like, wait a second. I just had an epiphany. Holy shit, what's this epiphany I'm just experiencing? It looks like Devin Haney's going to win. He's going to use his movement. He's going to use defense. That's how it's going to work. Yeah. That was a weird one. It's kind of out of nowhere, but definitely funny. I wanted to bring that up because, Timmy and his predictions. But nonetheless, I still think that Norman's going to win.
When is that fight?
The 22nd of November.
November 22nd. So we got some fights coming at the end here.
Yeah, we got some. We got at the end of October, We have Fundora and Thurman, which again, one more time, remind you guys, I'm gonna try to head down to the whatever events they have here and see if I can get some sort of footage for you guys, some sort of coverage that keep your eye out on our YouTube channel. I'm gonna get something for you guys. But we have that in late October, then this in November. I'm sure there's one more in November that I'm missing right offhand, but then December we just talked about Lamont Roach and Pitbull Cruz. But this one's a double header one. This one is Benavides and Yard, and then Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. So this one is more. I mean, shit. If this was on pay-per-view or this PBC one, I'd be like, all right, I'd consider it because it's like, oh shit, Benavides, all right, well, Haney, all right, cool. But maybe we're just jumping the gun, and maybe they will put some sort of really good supporting cast to that Pitbull Cruz and Lamont Roach card. Oh, you know what? Did you see the Pitbull Cruz's previous opponent, or not the previous opponent, the one before that, Fierro? Did you see him get disqualified in fucking Mexico? Dude, like I don't know if I'm thinking about the different Fierro, but it's the same fucking guy, Angel, Fierro, and he starts like kicking and shit, and they just fucking start throwing down, and like they had to get disqualified. Like it was a dirty fight. Apparently, it was a dirty fight, but it's just, man, it's just funny. I mean, I don't say funny, but it's kind of fucked up how he's just declining. He goes from that killer ass fight with Pitbull Cruz to having the rematch and not making weight, then completely being removed from the fucking fight card. And then he's fighting like in Mexico somewhere, and then he gets disqualified because the fight gets out of hand, out of control, and the referee isn't able to control it. And Fierro is like throwing kicks at the dude.
That was when they get separated and they go back at each other again, right? Like he goes across. Yeah, I did see that. I didn't even catch that it was Fierro. I thought I was just watching, chaos and boxing. You see those videos come across every once in a while. So that was Fierro that's on, though, huh? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah,
I did see that this week.
Unless I'm mistaken, but I mean, I only know one Angel Fierro, right? I'm the only one that I know. And when I see that shit, I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I recognize the name. And again, it was one of those things. I thought it was one of those, like you mentioned, like Vanderlei Silva and fucking, Acelino Freitas type shit. I was like, oh gosh, what happened now? I'm about to, see some dudes, get sucker punched by the corner man or something like that, right? And then I see what happens, and I see his name, and I'm like, hold the front door. Is this what I think it is? And I'm like, okay. And then there's another content creator. His last name is Amador. I forget his first name, but I think Ernesto Amador, I think his name is. He does a lot of content, but in Spanish. It does both in English and in Spanish, but he does a lot of Spanish. And I follow him on some of the social media accounts, and I saw that he posted about that, and I was like, oh fuck, so it's got to be Fierro. It's got the only Fierro that I fucking know. But anyway, I just threw that in there because it just occurred to me right now that he's the dude who fought Pitbull Cruz, and we're just talking about him. But yeah, I saw that. That was nuts, dude. That shit was fucking bananas. These guys were all over the goddamn place. All right, and then this is kind of a funny one. This is a weird one. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but this is one of the reasons why I wanted to wait towards later on in the show to even bring this up. But I recently saw a post that could be fake, could be AI. I don't know. It looks too damn good to be AI, in my opinion. But it may be staged. It may be legit, but staged. It looks as though Jake Paul was arrested, which looked hella freaking weird and super. I don't know. It looked fake, right? It looked staged. I don't know if that's actually what happened, but let me go ahead and pull up this Instagram post here that I found. Jake Paul gets arrested in Michigan and snitches on Detroit artist. Wow, I don't know how to pronounce this guy. YLGTWON. I don't know who. I don't know how the guy pronounce the guy. But anyway, so this is what the post says. Boxing star. I like the fact that they're going to describe Jake Paul as a boxing star here. Boxing star and YouTube sensation Jake Paul was reportedly arrested in Michigan this week, and sources claim he immediately tried to cut a deal by dropping Detroit artist, this guy's name, into the mix. Body cam footage shows Paul in the back of a squad car, visibly shaken, while insiders close to the situation say he couldn't hold the pressure. I don't know what that means. When questioned by officers. Oh, gotcha. So he broke. When the officers started to question him, he broke and he ratted on this guy. It says the streets are already buzzing. Why is Jake Paul even tied to this Detroit rap business? And what really went down before the cuffs came out? As always, Murder Mitten Media, this is the name of these people here, brings you the stories first, yada, yada, yada. Okay, anyway. So, but yeah, that looked kind of funny. I wasn't sure how legit that was, but apparently he was arrested in Michigan, and if you watch the clip of him there, he does look a little shaken from the camera that's inside the patrol car, and he's basically saying like, dude, I didn't know the dude had a gun, man. I mean, I wouldn't even been near him if I knew he had a gun, yada yada. So it looks legit. The only thing that I'm concerned about, and Andrew, you mentioned this as well, that we're not seeing reports anywhere else about it. So when we see only one place reported, more often than not, it's not legitimate. But especially this close to oh yeah, that's the November one that I was forgetting about. November 14th, him and Gervonta Tank Davis. But so close to that, we're talking about, a little over a month away, and this bullshit happens. I don't know, but is this a ploy? Is this a way to get more interest into the fight? I mean, I don't know. No other people are reporting it, so it seems fake. It seems staged. That's the way it looks, at least. But if you watch the video, Jake Paul does look kind of shaken. It looks like his reactions seem genuine. But I don't know. What do you think, Andrew?
Look, like I told you earlier, I seen him in Fresno this week too. There's a video circulating where Jake Paul's walking around Fresno, California, talking about it. He's even at the state fair. Ugh. That one's definitely AI. So, it looks fake. Let's say it's not, right? For entertainment purposes only. Mm-hmm. He hella snitches hella fast. I mean, this guy doesn't get out of the parking lot, bro. And he's like, I didn't know the gun was there. It's his. No, it's funny. It would totally
watch the guy be like, I didn't say anything about a gun, homie. He's like, oh, it's there. Trust me, it's there. Like he didn't even fucking wait. He's like, I'm rich. I'm snatching this guy out.
You would think the guy had enough knowledge to just wait until his lawyers showed up, just say, basically say, I want my lawyer, and then the lawyer could go in there and say that, and he'd go home. I think he's smart enough to say that, but who knows? Miguel did try to do a search on Google to see if it was there. We don't really see it anywhere else. So most likely it's going to be AI, but yeah, definitely. You can stop getting tattoos if the video is real. You can stop with the gold chains. You can stop hanging out, even with hip hop artists, or a very selective few hip hop artists. Because I do know there's a lot of this new generation of hip hop is kind of sideways. They probably wouldn't care, but there's a few of the old heads he would not be allowed to be hanging around with anymore.
If this is legit, do you think it affects his preparation to any degree against Jake Paul? Does this to some degree be like, all right, let me go. This is a bit of a distraction. Holy shit, I gotta go to court or some bullshit.
No, if they thought the gun was his, then yes. But because the gun was found under, I believe it was the driver's seat, correct? It wasn't under his seat.
Oh, I don't remember. He just says, I think the video just says that he's saying oh no, I didn't know the gun was there, but I'm not sure if he specified whether it was
what seat it was. Yeah. I mean, no, Miguel. I'm gonna say he's rich enough that lawyers would have handled this immediately. It's not his. It's not his gun. I don't think they would have done anything. So I'm gonna say no. It would not have been a distraction for Tank. I do like Tank's heavy bag videos he's been putting out. Have you seen those?
I have seen them.
At least he looks like he's really training. It'd be nice to see him land some of those shots on Jake Paul, see what he could do to a 200-pound plus man. Remember, Tank, you're fighting for all the little people in the world. Just saying, bro. Don't go out there and get scraped, man. Guys will be hitting on all little people's girlfriends in the club from here on out. Like, fuck you, little dude. You look like Tank, bro. I seen the Jake Paul fight.
Oh shit! We're gonna make that a verb. You're like, bro, don't fuck with me, yo. I'm gonna Jake Paul your ass if you're gonna fucking do, I'm gonna do what he did.
You're 5 foot nothing, eh? Pound for pound champ couldn't even take out a YouTuber. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, you want me to hug you and pick you up like fucking Diddy did, right? Want to do that, homie? Because I can do it. I'm just saying, don't be fucking around. I take it seriously here. Right? You want me to lift you up? I'll do that shit. Do you know who this artist is? I mean, it says Detroit artist. I'm assuming they mean like rapper, right? But YLG. I don't know if I try to pronounce these things, but I think that's all just initials. And then Twan, TWON. So I got that one right, at least I think. But I have never heard this motherfucker in my life. I'm thinking the first word is an actual word, but I'm like trying to pronounce it and it's not coming out. So I have to assume they're just initials.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try. And the young man probably has a better career today than now that Jake Paul did that for him.
Right. Yeah. And I've, from the time that I've seen the very, very early AI videos of like Will Smith eating fucking lasagna or spaghetti or something that look horrendous, we've come a long way. We've done some really good shit, right? We've come quite a long way. This looks to be too good. Like, I'm almost certain it's legit as far as the people that are being filmed. I just think that maybe it's staged, so they're acting. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm at because it looks too damn good. I've seen. Did you see the AI one where like J. Paul brings out a whole bunch of pennies, and there's like a bunch of Jewish guys like trying to grab the pennies, whatever. He like drops them on the floor, and they're all like grabbing them and stuff like that, right? You can tell which ones are AI, which ones are not. I guess what I'm trying to say. Yeah, we've come a long way from those really early Will Smith videos, but now it's like, yeah, it looks pretty legit, but then at the same time, you're like, hold on, I can tell when this shit is weird. You look at the blurry fingers or something like that, right? It's still not 100%. You can still tell, even like when the volume or the sound is not synced to like the way they move their voice or the way they move their lips. I'm saying so stuff like that, right? That you can still catch on to, that you can tell it's AI. This one didn't look like that, so I think it's actually them in the flesh. I think it's just probably staged though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking at least. But we've had a bit of a slow couple of weeks here after Canelo and Crawford back in September. But we got some boxing this week, Andrew. We got the guy that that Crawford ran from, Jaron Boots Ennis, will be fighting this weekend. Now, will he be fighting another top 154 pounder? No. He's going to be fighting one of his tune-ups, apparently. If I can pronounce this guy's name right, Uisima Lima, 12 rounds for the vacant WBA junior middleweight interim title. Now, who's the WBA champ at 154 right now? I think it was the belt that Crawford took from blanking out on his name right now, but Madrimov. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know if there's who else has that belt at the moment. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Fundora has a WBO and WBC. So I don't know who is the legitimate champ at this weight class, 154 with a WBA belt. But he's going to be fighting for the vacant 154-pound WBA interim title against this guy here, Lima. And then Jesse Hart is going to be on the co-main event. No other major names, at least that I'm seeing here. Oh, Guido's back. Guido Vianello. Remember that guy? We remember that guy, the heavyweight dude.
Yeah. Yep.
The guy who was fighting for his green card.
Guy that Timothy Bradley said was fighting for his green card, remember?
Yeah.
Isn't that what Timothy said? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly who. Oh, Timmy makes another appearance on our show today. He's going to be on the 10-rounder on the co-main, or not co-main event, but like the third fight from the top. But we're going to get to see, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is Jaron's debut at 154 pounds. So we're going to get to see how he looks and maybe size him up and see how he looks, because I think in November is when Virgil Ortiz fights. So back-to-back months, we're going to get the two guys that we want to see in the ring, Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz, back-to-back months here. So, all right, we're gonna get to see. And now, mind you, one of the reasons that he's moving up, he can't make 147 anymore. Everybody is in his corner, or his team has talked about how trying to make 147 pounds has been holding him back to some degree, and we aren't able to see the full Ennis in his most recent or his last 147-pound fights. But moving up to 154 and going against one of these tune-ups, I suppose, one of the few that he asked for. But Andrew, are you excited to see Jaron's debut at 154 against a tune-up?
I'm excited to see boxing. Boxing's been kind of dead the last few weeks, so yeah, I'm glad that it's back on. Look, the young man that he's fighting, 15 fights, 14 wins, 1 loss, 10 knockouts, decent power. What's also impressive is Jerome Ennis will be his 4th undefeated fighter in a row. Whatever that is, you know what I mean? He's beaten 3 undefeated guys, 18-0, 19-0, and 15-0. So maybe get an upset out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Maybe he's coming out of nowhere to get this fight, and then we'll look back at his record and go, wait a minute, he has 4 undefeated fighters in a row. Pretty good start to his career. I know he's 32. I'm trying to make something out of nothing. There you go. He's 32, so he's older, but he's got that. He's got power, and he's got a little confidence right now in beating nothing but undefeated guys.
All right, yeah. And he was the man at 147 right before this because he did unify with Stanionis and trying to continue to make something out of nothing. His nickname is Boots. That's something, right? No, I'm kidding. I just threw that in there. But
no, I was talking about his opponent, bro.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were talking about Boots. I was like, all right, I guess so.
No, that's
so Lima has had 4? Oh,
yeah,
shit.
this is Lima's 4th undefeated fighter in a row. So,
oh shit. Okay.
I'm going.
How did he beat those guys? Can you see them?
No, I don't have my tablet. That's the one.
You're fired. You're fired.
Yeah, I know. She's mad at me, so I don't get. I only had 1 cup of coffee. This is empty. I can pour that out. It's empty.
It's like I only have 1/4 of a cup of coffee.
It was cold when I got it.
Damn. What did you do, Andrew? What the fuck did you do?
Yeah.
What don't you do? It should be the question.
My tablet never even came.
Like she's gonna bring it to you and it's not even charged. Watch. It's gonna be like all fucking day. Like,
get me in trouble.
Yeah, it's like how come it's not hooked up to the Wi-Fi, babe? Let me see if I can find this here real quick. All right, here we go. So, all right, previous undefeated fighters. All right, cool. So, one was unanimous. One. A guy quit on his stool. All right, so his most recent
quit on his stool.
Yeah.
Woo, sound like you said died. I was like, man, you said that way too fast, bro.
Sorry. Quit on his stool.
Quits on his stool.
Yeah. Yes. Doesn't come out for the next round. And then a couple of unanimous decisions, and then a TKO. So his most recent victory was a TKO. Was scheduled for 12, went 9. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
He's an IBO super welterweight champion, as we talked about that before, right? But not exactly meaningful, you know. If you go on, I'm just saying, if you go on,
totally ruined all IBO champs today, Miguel. Your belt is out of a fucking apartment somewhere in America.
Yeah, if you go on eBay and you Google or you eBay fucking boxing belts, it's the least expensive one. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, But there have been some prominent guys who've had them. Rather not that means anything as another story. We're talking about Roy Jones Jr. was the IBO champion. Triple G was the IBO champ. Trying to think of some other ones. Probably
they tried in the very beginning. They really did. I remember when that belt. Remember Lee used to promote that thing a lot.
Oh yeah,
the IBO. He even went He even went like with their ratings for a little bit. He was going with their the IBO ratings. I want to say it was because the connection of Roy Jones, but they did try when they first came out.
Yeah, I've seen the IBA also. I remember that one too. Another one, just that one is, I don't know, a random one that just happened to pop into my head because I remember seeing who was it? I think it was De La Hoya, Fernando Vargas or something like that. They had, no one gave 2 fucks about that belt. They didn't give 2 shits about that belt. I want to say even Roy Jones had that belt at one point. Somebody who if I remember correctly, and I could be misremembering, but I think Sugar Ray Leonard and Hector Camacho in like 95. That shit, that was like IBA or some fucking crap. Anyway, but Mr. Lima, who is the opponent for Boots Ennis, is the IBO champ at 154 pounds. Okay, wow, it's kind of crazy. He's going after a champion, right? Sort of. Boots is not so much of a tune-up as we thought it was, right? All right.
And this is on DAZN.
Oh yes, it's going to be on DAZN. Let me head back to that. Yeah, it's going to be on DAZN. He is a matchroom guy, so he's going to be on DAZN this Saturday here. If I can see it here, the 11th. That's going to be on DAZN. Yeah, Saturday night. something is something, and that's the reason I even brought it up because after sometimes after big fights like Canelo Crawford, there's a bit of a lull, right? We were like anticipating it. August was a slow ass month for boxing, and then finally, like, bam, we get this one big event with Canelo and Crawford, and then back down we fucking go. But it's all right. It's all right because towards the end of October, we got, as we mentioned, Fundora. We have Danny Garcia next week, and if that counts for anything. And then November, of course, November 14th with Tank and Jake Paul. And then who else? Well, then later on in November, right, we talked about 22nd with Haney and Norman and Benavides. Anyway, but something is something to watch on Saturday. If you happen to not be doing anything this weekend and you want to stay home and watch some fights, by all means, DAZN. Tune in DAZN later this evening. The $20 subscription that is now DAZN, or however fuck much it is, if you don't want to catch some fights. Okay, well, that's it, guys. We tried to make a show out of something with as little information that we had. We even tried to throw in some fake news in there with when Jake Paul getting arrested. But regardless, that is what we got. We will be back next week, Sunday, as on a normal time, as we normally are, at least recording on a normal time. So until then, Andrew, was there anything else you wanted to toss in here? Was there any last minute stuff that popped up on your feed that you want to say? Hold up, Miguel. I gotta throw this one in.
No, I kind of been looking. I was looking for news, but I didn't find any. Oh, you know what? I'm lying. Darn it, there was something that I was gonna tell you. Hold on, let me see if I still have it up. Oh, there was something. Maybe I sent it to you. Check your. Oh. Arturo Gatti's son was found by his guard. Did Arturo Gatti Sr. have a bodyguard?
Well, the dude that Chuck Zito guy said that he was one time a bodyguard for him or some sort of guard for, because that's the reason he's the one that reported it first, or at least if I remember correctly what I read, he reported about Junior here because he was a former guard of Senior.
Of Gotti.
Yeah.
Of Senior.
Right.
Oh, okay. I thought he was the guard to the son that found him in Mexico.
No. He was of his pops.
Okay. All right. Well, I seen that one, and then what else did I see? I seen one other one that came on my feed. Oh, Riyadh season valued. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
In just the short time that Mr. Turki Ali Sheikh has been investing in the boxing, Riyadh is now valued at $3.2 billion. So not too bad.
Not too shabby.
Nah. And he doesn't even own it all. He owns it a lot.
Yeah.
Well, because you got DAZN, you got Golden Boy, you got other people out there still working. And then that brings up, did you see who signed with DAZN? Whitaker? Is that who just signed with Eddie?
Oh, no. Oh shit, was it him?
Whitaker, yeah, I think it was him. The kid from the UK that's been making a lot of noise. I was just really surprised.
Yeah, that's what was. You're right, yeah.
Yeah, I was just surprised that he would sign with, I was thinking the promoters are getting pushed out, and here we got a young prospect sticking with Eddie Hearn. So at least that's a little bit of some light for those older guys that think Turkey was buying everything up.
Yeah, and basically elbowing out all the promoters and be like, yeah, we don't need you guys anymore. That shows a little bit. And mind you, the guy's English too, right? So obviously he's going to try to stick to his Englishman. I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie Hearn pulled the Don King thing and is like, that's how he gets to sign young black fighters. He's like, oh yeah, these white men, they're trying to take you guys away. I got your best interest in mind. I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie tried the same thing with Whitaker and be like, yo, this Arab guy, yeah, he doesn't have your best interest in mind. A fellow countryman like myself, we have your best interest in mind. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to pull that shit off. But
quick announcement: the undercard. Frank Martin will return to the ring against former world champion Barthélemy Rances.
Yeah.
Barthélemy on the Sebastian Fundora Keith Thurman undercard. So there's one fight that's been announced. Martin and Barthélemy. Barthélemy seems like a guy that they've been recycling that name a lot.
They have. Yeah. I've been to a couple of those fights. Yeah, he's been. I think he fought. Who was it? Robert Easter. I think I saw. I forgot who that was, but I've seen him fight a few times. Yeah, he's kind of going through the. He's what's the word? He's in heavy rotation. Let's just say.
Yes.
He's in heavy rotation.
Yep. So
all right,
and that's about it. That's all I see, dude.
All right, fair enough. I'm sure. I mean, hey, we'll have some news between now and Sunday, and we'll make sure to gather something. Oh, and then of course we're gonna be talking about Boots Ennis's performance at 154, making his debut at 154 this Saturday. So we're definitely gonna be scrutinizing the shit out of that. If he looks like crap, then we'll be like, okay, I understand why he needs a couple of tune-up fights at 154, even though I highly doubt that would be the case. But regardless, we will see you guys next Sunday. For my co-host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapachet, I am Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, and this has been the Mad Boxing Show. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. Peace.